The words landed softly, like a blade wrapped in silk. "This seat isn't meant for someone like you." No shout, no sneer, just a polite smile from the woman behind the desk, her eyes flicking over Diane's plain sweater and unadorned face. Diane's fingers froze on the edge of the sleek white chair in the waiting room of Radiant Spa, the flagship of her multi-million-dollar wellness empire. She had built this place, chosen the marble floors, the lavender-scented air, the promise of transformation glowing on every screen. But today, she was a stranger in her kingdom, dressed down in faded jeans and a simple blouse. No makeup, no status. She had come to see what her company had become, and now she knew. The sting wasn't just in the words. It was in the certainty behind them, as if the woman, sleek and polished, had said it 100 times before. Diane didn't flinch. Not yet. But something deep inside her stirred, a memory of being dismissed, overlooked, judged. She sat back, letting the silence stretch, her gaze steady. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Diane had spent 20 years turning Radiant Spa into a beacon of luxury and self-care, a place where anyone could feel beautiful. Or so she thought. Whispers had reached her, rumors of clients turned away for not fitting the brand, of older women ignored, of a culture that valued Instagram likes over human dignity. She hadn't wanted to believe it. Success, she learned, had blind spots. So she went undercover, trading her designer suits for thrift store finds, her CEO title for anonymity. She walked into the Beverly Hills location as a nobody, just another woman in her 50s, unremarkable, invisible. The receptionist barely glanced at her, handing her a clipboard with a sigh. 15 minutes passed before her name was called. And then came that sentence, delivered with a smile that cut deeper than any rejection Diane had ever known. She stood, thanked the woman calmly, and walked out, not because she was defeated, but because she was ready to fight. The next day, Diane returned, same jeans, same chair, same mission. She watched the room like a hawk, her heart sinking with every observation. A young woman with flawless skin and a neon manicure breezed through the door, greeted with a chilled Pellegrino and a warm smile. 7 seconds from entry to VIP treatment. Then came an older woman, maybe 60, her gray roots peeking through a faded dye job, her eyes hopeful but hesitant. Diane knew that look. She'd worn it once, decades ago, when she was saving pennies for her first facial, dreaming of confidence. The receptionist's tone flattened. "We're booked today. Try our Glendale branch." The woman nodded, clutching her purse, and left. It was surgical, seamless, and cold. Over the next hour, the pattern repeated. Young, thin, photogenic clients were ushered in with compliments. Anyone older, plainer, or less on brand was delayed, redirected, or ignored. Diane's chest tightened. This wasn't a spa. It was a filter. She noticed a young esthetician, Sarah, early 20s, with nervous eyes and a softer demeanor. Sarah bent down to explain a treatment to an older client, her voice kind, until a manager, tall, angular, all black, called her away with a sharp nod. Sarah flinched, apologized to the client, and hurried off. That moment lingered with Diane, a flicker of connection snuffed out by a system obsessed with surface. She glanced at the mirrors lining the walls, where clients checked their reflections or avoided them entirely. For a second, Diane caught her face tired, bare, real. She remembered why she'd started Radiance, not to chase beauty, but to help people feel it, exactly as they were. Somewhere along the way, her dream had twisted into something cruel. Diane's eyes locked on the sleek tablets the staff used, not just for appointments, but for something deeper. She'd approved those devices years ago, meant to streamline client care. Now she suspected they were gatekeepers. When a new client walked in, a woman in her late 40s, confident, tailored jumpsuit, the receptionist tapped the tablet, smiled, and offered a cappuccino. 2 minutes later, a consultant appeared, all warmth. But when another woman, soft-spoken, no makeup, entered, the receptionist's fingers paused. A faint frown. "We're running behind. You can wait or reschedule." Diane leaned forward. That pause wasn't random. It was protocol. Slipping closer to the desk when no one was looking, she glimpsed the screen. Each client had a tag. C1, C3, PR+, F&B. She knew those codes from the system's beta days. C1 meant high value. PR+ meant social media potential. And C4, next to the soft-spoken woman's name, meant not on brand. Diane's stomach churned. Her spa wasn't serving people, it was sorting them. That evening, alone in her modest rental apartment, no penthouse, no pretense, Diane's phone buzzed. It was Sarah, her voice barely above a whisper. Something happened today. I watched Lauren, one of our closers, push a $12,000 package on a woman who just wanted eye filler. She cried, said she didn't want to change her face, just look rested. Lauren told her she'd regret not balancing her features for photos. She paid with her retirement savings. Diane closed her eyes, her pulse racing. Sarah's words spilled out, raw and rushed. They call it emotional pivoting. We're trained to say regret twice in every pitch. It's not just the upsells or the tags. It's what it's doing to us. I used to love this job. Now I feel like I'm breaking people. Diane's voice was steady. Do you trust me? Sarah didn't hesitate. Yes. Diane exhaled. Then get me proof. Screenshots, training manuals, anything. Sarah paused, then whispered, I will. The next morning, Diane saw it unfold in real time. A woman, Ellen, mid-50s, walked in at 10:17, her beige cardigan and nervous smile radiating effort. She asked about jaw contouring, her voice soft. The receptionist called Lauren, mid-30s, blonde, a conversation machine. Lauren greeted Ellen with practiced warmth, complimenting her necklace and leading her to a consultation room. 22 minutes later, Ellen emerged, clutching a pamphlet and a consent form, her face smaller, defeated. She paid $8,000 up front for a package she didn't need, sold on the fear of aging before her daughter's wedding. Diane slipped into the room after Lauren left, the screen still showing a brutal before and after simulation of Ellen's face erased of wrinkles, lifted, unrecognizable. This wasn't care. It was coercion, weaponizing vulnerability for profit. Diane recorded a voice memo, her voice low. Tuesday, 10:17 a.m. Client Ellen M. Sold a needed package. Emotional manipulation observed. She whispered, no more. Diane called an unannounced staff meeting, signing it under a vague corporate title. She walked past the reception desk, the waiting room, the mirrors, her heart heavy but resolute. In the break room, the staff Lauren, Sarah, and others fell silent as she entered. She removed her lanyard and spoke evenly. My name is Diane Harper. I'm the founder of Radiant Spa. For 3 weeks, I've sat where your clients sit, watched how you treat them, seen what you do when you think no one's looking. The room froze. Lauren's smile faded. Sarah stared at the floor. Diane continued. I built this place to heal, not harm. But I've seen women shamed into spending savings on treatments they don't need. I've seen older clients turned away for not being photogenic. I've seen kindness punished and cruelty rewarded. She turned to Lauren. You're talented, but you don't make women feel beautiful. You make them feel small, then sell them a fix. Lauren opened her mouth, but Diane raised a hand. Not yet. She addressed the group. This spa is under review. Every record, every pitch, every metric. If you've acted ethically, you're safe. If you've treated people like products, that stops now. You can stay and rebuild, or you can leave. No one moved. Diane looked at Sarah, whose hands trembled but whose eyes met hers. Some of you remember why we started. You'll help us fix this. She left the room, pausing only to say, we can't control what people see in us, but we can control how they feel in our care. Weeks later, Diane stood in the training room, now stripped of its glossy bravado. The screen read, we see you. Lauren and several others had resigned. Sarah stayed, now a training and ethics supervisor. Diane spoke to the staff, her voice raw. I built a business that sold insecurity in glass jars. I was part of the problem, but we're changing that. She unveiled a new model. No tags, no bonuses for upselling, only rewards for client satisfaction. She launched the Dignity Project, offering free care to women over 50, survivors, and those with medical skin trauma. A young esthetician asked, what if a client doesn't feel beautiful, no matter what? Diane smiled. You meet her where she is. You don't sell her a mirror, you offer her light. That night, Diane sat in her small apartment, sipping tea, her reflection in the window unadorned but steady. Radiant Spa wasn't perfect, but it was hers again, realigned with the woman who'd once dreamed of making beauty accessible, not exclusive. The board meeting on her laptop wasn't about profits, it was about purpose. She'd fixed what she'd broken, and that was enough. What would you do if you saw this kind of injustice in your world? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you faced or fought against systems that judge and exclude? Take a stand. Tell us your perspective on cruelty and fairness in everyday life. Your voice matters.